Hey guys, Glenn here from jazzpianolessons.online. Today we're going to be looking at how do you play the tune Now's the Time by Charlie Parker. A very simple tune, a great tune. Here's how it goes. That's basically the song, all right? So Now's the Time by Charlie Parker. A great little tune. Now, it's a jazz blues, so if you're wondering to know how to play a jazz blues, hey, this is the song for you to learn. You will be able to play jazz blues. Now, I'm doing this in the key of F, so it's the F blues. Now, jazz blues kind of follows the form of a normal type of blues, right? So it's 12 bars long. There's the basic 1-4, 1-5-4-1 thing continues on, right? Except jazz just likes to get there in a more, in my opinion, a more interesting and a more scenic way getting towards the destination. All right, so the first 4 bars of a blues, if I was playing, you know, the old school, you know, proper kind of blues, I would play 4 bars of F7, okay? But I'm not going to, and then I would go to B flat 7, I'll play that for 2 bars. All right, I'm going to play though, instead of 4 bars of F7, I'm going to play 1 bar of F7. I'm going to start with an F13 here. So there's an F13 you might want to use there. That's kind of cool. There's your guide tones, 1, 3, 7. I'm using the 13 there. That makes it 13. But if I add the G in as well, that's kind of nice. That's the 9, all right? So that's F13. And I'm going to go to, in the very next bar, I'm going to go to a B flat 7, or in fact, I'm going to play B flat 13 again, all right? So here's my guide tones. Here's what my guide tones do. So if I play a walking bass there, all right, there's what happens with my guide tones. Go from there, it just goes down 1 semitone. Now I'm going to go, I'm playing the D and the G, and as I change to the B flat 13, I'm going to play the D. There's my guide tone. I'm going to stay with the G in the top. I don't have to. I just feel like I'm going to, okay? So here's my F chord. All right. I could add the C in there too. That would be kind of nice. All right, but I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go back to F, so same chord, right? Now that kind of says, all right, this is what the key that we're in when we do that, right? So it's a very clever way of doing it. F, 2, 3, 4, B flat, F. All right, now what we're going to do is kind of like a 2-5-1 now, but in the blues we often play the dominant chord and we don't go minor, then the dominant and then major, right? And in fact, there's no major chords in the standard jazz blues, right? So then we'll do a C7, I'm doing C13 there. We're going to go to an F7 for 2 beats and then B flat. Okay, now you might want to use a tritone substitute. Sometimes I do that. Just going down. Okay, so first 4 bars. F chord, B flat, is F, C, F, B flat. 4 beats of B flat. Now then we go to a B diminished. Now that's not unique to blues. It's quite a common thing, but for Now's the Time, it's definitely what happens, all right? Because we've got that B flat, B natural. All right, so that's where that sort of comes from, okay? So we've got that B flat chord, all right, B flat 13, and then a B diminished. I'm going to play pretty much the same note. I'm just going to bring my C to a B. And of course, my B flat bass note changed to a B there. Back to the F7. So we do 1 bar of B flat, 2, 3, for 1 bar of B diminished 7 or half diminished 7, depends how you want to play it. Some people play it differently there. F13, 2, 3, 4. Then we go, the standard is A minor 7 to D7 here, right? So A minor 7, I'm playing A minor 9 there to a D7. I'm going to play, like a sharp 5 and a sharp 9 there. So it's kind of a bit of an altered chord there. And really, it's really kind of root position that I'm playing at the moment in a way like 1, 3, 5, 7, and then the 9 or sharp 9, okay? So I go G minus, so that's 2 beats each, G minor 7. All right, G minor 7 for 4, C7, playing C13 there. What did I play before? I think I played that voicing. Right down there, that's C, another good fun C13 you can use. F7. All right. Then we're going to go up. You can either go 1, 6, 2, 5, or you can go up to the minor third and then come down. That's really just using the tritone substitutes. Really is what's happening there. So 1, 6, 2, 5, and I used another sharp 9 there. All right. So that's how you do, I guess, the chords there. Now with I kind of like to play when I'm playing solo piano on this particular piece of music. I like to kind of do a bit of a bass note thing and not worry too much about the chords the first time through. Okay, here's the melody. 4, 1, 2. All right, just those 3 notes for that first 4 bars, right? Literally those first 3 notes. And then here comes the next little bit. B flat, B natural. And this is kind of the same as the first line. Then we've got now, of course, you can change that a little bit. It's jazz, right? You don't have to play it exactly, but I would encourage you to learn the head pretty close to that and then start to muck around with it, okay? So now this is what I like to do. I kind of like to play kind of a bass note, kind of like a F, walking up to that B flat. That kind of thing, right? Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Going the minor third, G, F sharp, F, then soloing. Now with the solo through here, most of the chords are the 7th chord, so most of the time I'm doing the Mixolydian mode. There's an E flat going to a D there, G minor. That's the D that time, G, and now if you watched my video recently on how to play without a bass player, I'm kind of doing some of that now. I'm kind of doing sometimes bass. But when I'm playing the melody, I'm not worrying too much about the bass. When there's no melody going on, play a few chords and then play some bass notes, right? outside there, bit of chromaticism. Kind of stride playing. So I'm literally using the mixolydian mode, which is the lowered fifth. All right, so it's the lowered fifth for every time. So here's F major, the scale. If I lower, sorry, the lowered seventh, I should say, the lowered seventh, or the fifth mode. That's where I got the lowered fifth from, right? So it's the fifth mode of the major scale, or you can think of it as a lowered seventh, right? So here's F major. So if I was to play F7, I would have, sorry, that was F mixolydian. That's F major, right? So if I was to play F mixolydian, I would use that lowered seventh, which is the E flat. Now, which you might have seen, you might have recognised that. If not, don't be stressed out about that. But you might have seen that that's a B flat major scale, but starting on the F. That's why we call it the fifth mode, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the B flat major scale, but starting on like mode 5, right? Okay, sometimes, so it depends how you want to think about it. Sometimes I think of it as the fifth mode, sometimes I think of it as the lowered seventh. Now, I used a lot of guide tones through there and swapping between the guide tones when I'm doing the blues. I often do that quite a lot. What I do find is if you know your guide tones really well, they're the 3 and the 7 of each chord, right? The guide tones for jazz, 3 and 7. If you know them really, really well, no matter what's going on, you'll be able to come back to something that sounds half decent, right? So when I'm playing, you know, if I'm playing really, really outside, even the guide tones become even more important then, because the listener's like, oh, what's going on here? You know, this is kind of crazy. But if you can kind of, I guess, comfort the listener with a little bit of 3 and 7, then when you go way outside, they'll kind of go, oh, I still kind of know what's going on here, right? So here's my F, right? If I go, let's say I play lots of black notes, right? That doesn't normally work with that, right? If I, right, that's quite outside, right? So here's my F chord. I'm just going to make sure I play a little bit so we kind of get to hear it, right? Here's B flat, B diminished, and I'm back, right? Sometimes when I think about playing outside, you got to really think about how can you make sure the listener knows what's going on, all right? So that's one way of doing it. You might want to think of it too. It depends, you know, like playing, you know, think about playing outside. If you go outside, it can get a bit cold, right? Sometimes you got to, but you can go outside for a little while, even if it's cold, and then come back inside and warm up. That's right. But if you spend a couple of hours outside when it's cold, you know, you're starting to freeze up, right? So if you play outside and you continue to play outside for the entire piece of music, for some people that's going to be, well, probably for most people, they're going to be able to not handle that and want to turn it off, right? So, but some will go, you know, well, that's the most amazing piece of music I've ever heard in my life, because we're all a little bit different, all right? So of course that's going to be the case, all right? You know, there's that Iceman who you know, dunks himself into ice freezing cold water every now and then, all right? So that's what he does. That's not for everyone though, of course. But if you're playing outside on the piano all of the time, I think you're kind of like that Iceman, all right? He just, he's hardcore with going outside and being cold, all right? So here's the song one more time, and I'll do a little bit of improvising on it. I'll try not to talk too much on this one, so you can just kind of see what's going on. A 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, 3, 4. C, B. Hope that helps you guys. Hey guys, I'm looking at doing some YouTube live sessions where I'd answer your questions live. If you are interested in that, please let me know. Put something in the comments below. And if there's enough people interested, I will do that. I'll probably do it on a Friday sometime. And maybe even a regular Friday if lots of people are interested. All right, guys, all the best. I'll catch you again real soon with a new tune or a new idea or a jazz thought of some sort. All right, all the best. Catch you soon. Bye.